Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Global Adventure Show with travel writer Debbie Stone. Welcome, everybody. Travel writer Debbie Stone is back on the show today to talk about Hawaii. In fact, we have 3 podcasts of her talking about Hawaii today. The first thing was we're going to talk about Hawaii and Hollywood at Kualoa Ranch. And her article is up on blendradioandtv.com. You can see the link in the show notes and also the link to her other 2 articles on Hawaii. But the fact is, Debbie has pretty much covered all of Hawaii, I think, by now. So welcome back, Fire Monkey, as we call her. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm well. Glad to be speaking with you about Hawaii, one of my favorite places.
Have you left out anything in Hawaii yet? Honestly, I think we've done a little Molokai, you've done Oahu, you've done
Hawaii,
so many.
Yeah, Maui, and the Big Island. Yep, the island of Hawaii. Yep.
So should we just publish a book on this now?
The only island I haven't been to Lanai. So, but
that's going to take time.
Yeah, I've done the others, which were more important for me to get to. But the islands are wonderful, and they're each unique and have their own, identity, so to speak.
So Kualoa Ranch, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so this is on Honolulu. So that's they call it.
It's on Oahu. Yeah,
Oahu.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But it was near. You were
it's
in
about an
Honolulu.
Hour. Yeah.
And then you just hop over.
How
do you just hop over? Oh, a drive. Okay.
You drive. Yeah, it's about an hour driving. And what's really wonderful is, when you start getting outside of Honolulu, and Honolulu is a lot of concrete and skyscrapers. Of course, there's the, Waikiki Beach and all that, but it's a lot of concrete. So, I feel like a lot of people like to get out of that area for some point of time during their stay, and they might want to get to some place that's a little bit, more nature-oriented and slower paced, and, that's basically on the other side of the island. And, it's so this ranch, which offers a lot of different tours for visitors, is a really beautiful destination. It's on the windward side of Oahu, and it's basically a private nature reserve, but it's also a working cattle ranch. It's 4,000 acres, been listed on the National Register of Historic Places since the 70s.
Wow.
It's a stunningly picturesque spot, and visitors can explore it in a myriad of ways.
Well, what's interesting about this is the history of this place to me. And when you look at it, it just seems so lush and so beautiful. And we want to talk about the Hollywood side. I know you did Los Alamos, everyone, which was, famously connected to Oppenheimer, right? Oppenheimer, who just won all those Oscars, not Oppenheimer himself, but that movie did. And you've been to a lot of, movie locations in your travels. We've talked about it over the years on the shows, movies, and then also theater places, right? So going here and seeing this ranch that has when it goes way back when, right? This ranch, historically speaking, to now with movies.
I think, the history, goes way back to, it was a sacred area to the ancient Hawaiians back in the 13th to the 18th century. And then an American doctor and a missionary, his name was Dr. Judd, he bought a chunk of the land for only $1,300. And he bought it from King Kamehameha, I can never pronounce that. Kamehameha III. And
Kamehameha.
Kamehameha. Excuse me. My Hawaiian is not very good.
I have a friend knocking on my door telling me that.
Kamehameha. Yes, Kamehameha. Dr. Judd was the first person to translate medical journals to the Hawaiian language for the king. So he served as one of his advisors, and as thanks or gratitude for his work, the king sold him the land. And then the doctor purchased more acres in the ensuing years. And first they started a sugarcane plantation, and but then that ended and the mill closed. And then the World War II came. The U.S. Military occupied the land because it was a site for an airfield. And then, post-war, it returned to the descendants, the owners of Dr. Judd. So it has been in that family, to the Morgan family, for 7 generations, and they try to be real good stewards of that land. They try to enhance it, the natural scenery, the cultural, historical significance, but they also develop agriculture, aquaculture, recreational types of enterprises that will fit with that environment.
What's interesting to me is that it's a private nature reserve, right? And a
Yes,
cattle ranch. So there's that nature side, but it's private. But it's kind of something we've been watching with what's happening even in South Africa, which you've been to and been on the show talking about. Um, that there's the national parks, there's the monuments and things like that, wildlife refuges in this country and in other countries too. But we're seeing that a lot of agricultural outlets are going, hey, let's do this so we can balance the two. And so, we look at farming and there's some negatives in farming, as we know, in agriculture, especially mass agriculture, like,
right.
monoculture, like this big, like, hey, we're only growing this in this one zone, which is not supporting biodiversity. From our experience in this country and over in South Africa is that um, farmers are trying to do this balance of nature
Yeah,
and get back the soil so there's biodiversity because that's better for food and I know this is a cattle ranch too, so they had to have some kind of balance, but it's private and we're seeing this growth. And it used to be kind of like looked down on being private, like why is it private, why don't you just donate it? But we're seeing that people are going, you know what, we have this land, let's do this and take care of it and share it. And I'm not knocking either way. This is not a knocking thing. This is how interesting is it that people are going and recognizing what they can do with their land in conservation and biodiversity, but also diversity in what can be done, right? You know what I mean? It's like
absolutely.
multi-use. Are you seeing more of that in your travels, especially here in what we're talking about with Kualoa Ranch? It seems that they're seeking balance in all, and that's a
I think
good
they
thing.
are, and I think people
Yeah.
are trying to do when they have land to try to do good things with it, and also to try to share it as well. To find a way, find a balance, like you say, find a balance
Yeah.
that's good for the land, but also allows to people to share it with others, and make money, because that's, you have to be able to make money to
Mm-hmm.
sustain, to be
Sustainable.
support the
Yeah.
land, right? Exactly. So you find ways to do that. And this is a cattle ranch. They're going to sell they're going to have meat. They sell the vegetables that they grow, all the things that they grow and make on the land. They grow it, and they have a little store, a little shop, a little cafe. They sell their products. And so it kind of comes full circle in my mind. Plus, then you've got,
Mm.
of course, the Hollywood component, which is a fairly big one that attracts a number of visitors. And while they're attracted to that, and while they are exploring that aspect of it, they're also seeing this incredible, landscape, these jagged mountains, these cliffs, these incredible green, verdant valleys, and these jungles, and this flora that's crazy, monkey pot and mango and breadfruit
Wow.
trees. And so they're seeing all of this, they're learning about all of this, because you go on a guided tour, whether it's whether you're going to drive your vehicle, or you're going to have somebody else drive it, or you're in a small bus type of thing, or you're doing you're doing mountain biking through it, whatever. You've got a guide, you've got narration going on, so you're learning while you're exploring this incredibly gorgeous landscape.
I love this too because so you're understanding what can be grown there, what can be raised, because like you're saying, it's the agricultural side is very diverse from flowers
Absolutely.
to shrimp, not just beef,
Yes.
right? Lamb.
Yeah.
So
Aquaculture. Yep.
yeah, so they're understanding that diversification, which is so important to your topsoil, right? That it's
Absolutely.
diverse. And so you actually, when you went on this one tour with them, they even taught you about, the streams and the water sources and water
Yep.
restoration, right?
Oh, absolutely.